What if you could predict the future? Imagine knowing trends before they explode. Discover how Predictorama can change the game for you. Curious? Let's dive in. I was truly amazed to meet Shilpa Vora, an incredible technology executive. Shilpa has years of experience in managing and analyzing data in big pharmaceutical clinical trials and knows the investment banking scene inside and out. Shilpa has taken all that knowledge and passion to create something truly special. But what's fascinating is how Shilpa has figured out a way to tackle a major problem that many face today. Why don't we explore this journey together? Now let's dive deeper into Predictorama, Shilpa's innovative startup that promises to change how businesses use data. Get ready to learn how it connects cutting-edge tech with real-world challenges. Predictorama by Shilpa is all about solving the problem of missing forward-looking data for businesses. It uses crowdsourced data and AI tools to help companies make smart decisions in finance, business, economics, and politics. Shilpa made a point about focusing on what customers really need and staying persistent in outreach. This approach is helping Predictorama grow fast. So, if you are starting a business, remember to listen to your customers and keep improving your product based on their feedback. Welcome to the Founder Show, where we help startups and visionaries like you share your journey. Today, we're thrilled to welcome Shilpa Vora, the amazing founder of Predictorama. Here, we amplify stories to inspire and connect with over 100,000 listeners. Let's dive into Shilpa's journey and learn from her experiences. Let's get started. Hi Shilpa, this is Vatsa from the Founder Show. Thanks for joining this podcast, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Vatsa. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Shilpa. Let's dive right in. Tell me about your startup. What's the name, the big idea, and the problem you're solving?
Thanks, Vatsa, for having me. The name of the product is Predictorama. And the problem that we're trying to solve is that for organizations in spaces including finance, business, economics, and politics, they are lacking data that looks forward in order to navigate these turbulent times. All indicators are that the global environment for businesses of any kind is going to continue to become more and more difficult to navigate due to instability of financial markets and political instability. Enter Predictorama with its AI tools, AI agents, and data as a service business model. The specific challenge that we're addressing has to do with the fact that there's only a nominal amount of leading indicator data available in the world today. This gap can be addressed by providing crowdsourced leading indicator data on the four areas I mentioned earlier: finance, business, economics, and politics. Additionally, this data can be fed to LLMs that have been trained on those four areas. Customers can then buy time on said LLMs to converse with essentially all the world's journalists, professors, researchers, etc., about business strategy and opportunities. Predictorama will also create AI agents for customers that are specific to that organization and its needs regarding strategy and challenges ahead.
That's fascinating, Shilpa. Predictorama seems to be tackling a massive gap in forward-looking data, especially in such critical areas. I love the idea of combining crowdsourced leading indicators with LLMs tailored to specific industries. It's like giving businesses a crystal ball for strategy and decision-making. What inspired you to focus on this particular problem? Was there a moment or experience that sparked the idea for Predictorama?
Yes, absolutely. So my skills and experience deal with data and financial services. In terms of data, I worked extensively in pharma with biostatisticians on the statistical analysis of data from clinical trials. Later, I led implementations of content management systems at investment banks on Wall Street that needed to maintain Chinese walls between deal teams. These two deep dive experiences have prepared me well for this challenge.
That's an impressive background, Shilpa. It sounds like your experience in both pharma and Wall Street gave you a unique perspective on handling complex data and navigating high stakes environments. Combining those skills must have been instrumental in shaping Predictorama. When you first started building this, what was the biggest challenge you faced in turning your vision into a reality?
I think the challenge that I'm currently facing is attempting to get the word out about my product, hence my appearing on the Founder Show. We're trying to obtain pilot customers that can see the value and want to work with us to realize that value in order to engage in a meaningful way on developing strategies and meeting challenges head on to navigate beyond the competition and get them where they need to be so that they remain relevant today, 5 years from now, and far into the future.
That makes perfect sense, Shilpa. Getting the word out and finding those early adopters is such a critical step, especially for a product as forward thinking as Predictorama. It's great that you're leveraging platforms like this to amplify your reach. How are you identifying or approaching potential pilot customers? Are you targeting specific industries or types of organizations to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So we're focused very much on financial services, and that to parts of financial services that are data hungry. Hedge funds are well known to be data hungry, and within hedge funds, we're specifically looking at quants, algo traders, financial modelers who can use the data that comes out of our predictive data as a service portion of the platform. They can use this data to make better trades, to avoid making bad trades, to provide the correct advice to their customers so that their customers can grow their portfolios. So those are absolutely the verticals or individuals that we are focusing on as our very initial customers, because we think that they're going to be very happy when they see the data that comes out of the Predictorama platform, and it's data they can find nowhere else.
That's a smart approach, Shilpa. Targeting hedge funds, especially quant and algo traders, makes perfect sense. They thrive on unique, high-quality data to gain an edge. And the exclusivity of your data is a huge selling point. How are you differentiating Predictorama's data from other sources? Is it the crowdsourcing model, the AI integration, or something else that makes it truly one of a kind?
Certainly those two are a factor, the crowdsourcing model as well as the integration to AI. The other thing that we'll say, which I had mentioned earlier, is that there's a lot of lagging indicator data, which is essentially data that looks at the past, at what happened. And because the past is the past, we can analyze it much more, and we have much richer data about it. In terms of leading indicator data, sure, there's some like CPI, consumer price index, inflation, numbers that look forward, but there just isn't enough. Predictorama aims to fill that gap by crowdsourcing from the internet at large predictions on current and exigent events. These are events that move markets, hence the desire to focus on algo traders, quants, people who essentially make money or lose money by events happening in the world today that move markets.
Got it, Shilpa. So Predictorama is essentially bridging the gap between lagging and leading indicators, offering a forward-looking lens that's currently missing in the market. That's a game changer, especially for algo traders and quants who thrive on anticipating market movements. How do you ensure the quality and reliability of the crowdsourced predictions? Are there specific mechanisms or filters in place to validate the data before it's delivered to your customers?
Well, certainly we scrub the data right now, so we're keeping a very close eye on who's coming to the site and how they're voting to ensure that they are a valid user. We're well aware that platforms like this can be manipulated, and it is very much our intent, once we've raised funding, to put mechanisms in place via technology that will ensure that the individuals answering these questions are in fact real. They're not bots from foreign adversaries or internal adversaries that may want to manipulate the data. Very sophisticated tools now exist to determine if the people coming to the site are real people, and it is very much our intent to implement those technologies once we've gained further customer traction and raised our initial round of funding.
That's a solid plan, Shilpa. It's great to hear you're proactively addressing potential manipulation and ensuring data integrity. Building trust in the quality of your predictions will definitely be key to winning over customers, especially in such a high-stakes industry. Speaking of funding, are you currently in the process of raising capital, or are you focusing on building traction with pilot customers first? How are you balancing those priorities?
We're currently mostly focused on building traction with pilot customers. That's not to say that if an investor comes along and shows tremendous interest in our product, as well as the ability to help us better define the pilot customer and bring pilot customers on board, that we would say no to that investor. But certainly the vast majority of our efforts is in finding pilot customers, finding customers that fit our ideal customer profile, and working very closely with them, hand in hand, to ensure that they realize value out of this platform.
That's a smart approach. Shilpa, focusing on building traction and proving value with pilot customers first. It not only strengthens your product, but also makes you more attractive to investors down the line. And having an investor who can bring strategic value, like connecting you to ideal customers, would be a bonus. What's been the most rewarding part of this journey so far? Any moments where you felt, yes, this is why I'm doing this?
Every day I feel like this is why I'm doing this. That's the most rewarding part of the journey. I have been in technology all my life, studied computer science, and am a hardcore techie, but I also have a strong business sense, having moved over, shall we say, to the other side. And I find that in this role, I get to use all sides, all aspects of what I've learned, from sales to technology to business development to marketing. And for that reason, as I say, every day is a reward, and I look forward to bringing other people on this journey along with me.
That's such an inspiring perspective, Shilpa. It's amazing how you found a way to bring together all your skills and experiences into something so impactful. It's clear you're deeply passionate about Predictorama and its potential to make a difference. Looking ahead, what's your vision for Predictorama in the next 5 years? Where do you see the company, and how do you hope it will shape the industries you're targeting?
Sure. So initially, we want to focus on this one small area of financial services, but then we also want to grow beyond that into wealth management, investment banking, because all of these areas within financial services can gain from forward-looking data, can gain from LLMs that help them with their specific strategies, and can benefit from the AI agents that we plan to build specifically for these verticals, and then specifically for the customers within those verticals that express an interest in having such agents. Then we want to move on to the other areas that I had mentioned, namely economics, politics, and business. So we believe intelligence agencies like CIA or Mossad would be most interested in the data that we're producing and what the LLMs can offer them when they converse with the LLMs that have been trained on all of this research and periodicals and articles that have been written out there. We also believe corporations, businesses can use that. The Walmarts of this world, the Starbucks of this world, the energy companies of this world, the manufacturing companies, they all require this kind of data and require these kinds of LLMs to determine what their strategy should be going forward. So once we've established a beachhead, there are several directions in which we want to move as quickly as possible.
That's an ambitious and exciting roadmap, Shilpa. Starting with a focused niche like financial services, and then expanding into wealth management, investment banking, and eventually broader industries like economics, politics, and business is a smart strategy. The potential applications for Predictorama's data and AI tools seem almost limitless. I love the idea of even intelligence agencies and global corporations leveraging your platform to shape strategies. It really underscores the scale of impact you're aiming for. What do you think will be the biggest challenge in scaling Predictorama to serve such diverse industries and use cases?
Well, I think one of the challenges right now that a lot of technology companies are facing is having to do with infrastructure around LLMs and building out the right infrastructure within their organizations to train the LLMs and then keep the LLMs updated and keep the LLMs running. As we all know, there are chip shortages, there's energy shortages, power shortages, but we are confident that we can navigate these with the help of strong partners, strong investors, and strong talent that we plan to bring on board.
That's a very real challenge, Shilpa, especially with the resource-intensive nature of LLMs. It's great to hear you're already thinking about strong partnerships and talent to tackle these hurdles. Having the right infrastructure and support will definitely be key to scaling Predictorama effectively. As you look to bring on talent, what kind of team culture or values are you aiming to build within Predictorama? How do you envision your team contributing to this ambitious vision?
So a product like this, one of the core things you need is integrity, because you're dealing with questions that are geopolitical in nature and that are essentially guiding companies and CEOs and boards into what direction to take and providing them with facts about what's happening in the world today. So integrity is at all levels, whether it's marketing like an outward-facing role or technology being a developer and an internal-facing role. Integrity is going to be core to our culture because everybody feeds off of everybody, particularly at a small startup. And we need our customers to know that the data that they get from us and from our LLMs is honest and trustworthy and full of integrity. We also plan to look for people that work well together, that are smart, that want to offer their knowledge to each other and want to help build each other up, because the best teams are the ones that work together, and the best teams that I've led are the ones that are always sharing and building on each other's knowledge.
That's such a thoughtful and admirable approach, Shilpa. Building a culture rooted in integrity is absolutely essential, especially when your product is guiding critical decisions for businesses and leaders. It's clear you're prioritizing trust and collaboration, which will not only strengthen your team, but also your relationships with customers. I love how you're emphasizing knowledge sharing and teamwork. It's the foundation of any successful startup. As we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to other founders who are just starting out on their entrepreneurial journey?
Sure. I would say that one ought to define clearly their goals, and from that, define clearly the features of the product. Don't get too caught up in building feature after feature that no one may want, that no customer is looking for. Also, keep following up with potential customers until you get a definitive response. This is the key to moving forward.
That's fantastic advice. Shilpa, staying focused on clear goals and building only what customers truly need is so important, especially for early stage startups. And persistence in following up with potential customers is definitely a game changer. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights today. It's been an absolute pleasure learning about Predictorama and your vision. Wishing you all the success as you continue to grow and make an impact.
Thank you for having me on the Founder Show.
It was a pleasure having you, Shilpa. Wishing you and Predictorama all the best ahead. Thanks for tuning in to the Founder Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. Are you a startup founder with a vision? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to Founder Show to sign up and get a chance to be featured on our podcast. Let's inspire the next wave of entrepreneurs together. Catch you next time.